Who should pay on the first date?
The one that invites me in.
And what can you do?
Honestly, I don't mind going out for a few drinks.
And is sex on the first date okay?
Sex would be fine.
Hold on, we'll get to that. So back to the first date. How would it typically go in Europe? And what are the absolute no-gos? We asked the pros on the ground and in offices with diplomas on the wall. Very basically, what do you do on the first date?
Well, I am from Italy, so we have the aperitivo culture. So usually we go out at 7 and drink, so that's the perfect hour.
I think I would like to go out and just walk around a bit in the park.
I prefer doing an activity, bowling, a little bit competitive. You've got to see if they can handle it or not.
Something simple, because if it doesn't work, I want to escape.
We ran these answers past psychologist Shaheen Derin. As a couples therapist, she's had lots of experience analyzing many relationships.
It's quite common in Europe, especially more in the northern countries, that people meet for a first date less formal, so to say, a bit more laid back. And in Germany, for example, there's no word for dating. People say, I'm gonna meet someone. Saying I'm gonna meet someone could mean anything. It could mean I'm gonna meet a friend, a colleague, but it could also mean I'm gonna meet my potential partner.
Language shapes the culture, and Europeans have never been in the habit of using a term corresponding to the English date. Instead, they'll usually go out together informally as just friends, and over half of all relationships began as casual friends. One question has been coming up for debate more often. Who pays on the first date?
The one that invites me in, so most of the time the man, I would say. Yeah, because I take my time to go on the date, so yeah.
Especially if I'm going on a date with a man, I like to pay so that I feel like I have some power in that dynamic.
I would never expect somebody to pay for me.
I think both parties should offer.
I would prefer to split the bill.
Every man needs to be a gentleman. I think the man should pay on the first date.
Who should pay generally comes down to people's concept of gender roles. In this regard, Southern and Eastern Europe seem a bit more conservative than the North and West. But things are changing.
There's a lot of exploration also, I think. Also when it comes to gender roles, where are the boundaries and what makes me feel maybe empowered or what makes me feel strong, since we live in a society where autonomy and individualism is still very much promoted also.
As gender norms change, personal autonomy gains importance. But certain no-gos are universal in Europe. We want to know what's unacceptable on the first date.
Maybe stay with the phone or something.
Well, getting too touchy, I think this is really weird.
Well, rudeness.
Take me to meet their family or parents or something.
Don't bring up previous relationships, I'd say.
And assuming the date is going quite well, how far would Europeans go on the first date?
Well, how far as I can get.
I think sex not, and I think a kiss would be stepping a lot out of my comfort zone.
I don't really have a no-go.
I wouldn't sleep with someone on the first date, in my opinion. If I were to do that, it's in a slightly different category in my head. Make someone wait, potentially for a kiss, like a peck, but only if they're lucky.
Kiss would be fine, yeah. Sex would be fine.
Maybe a first kiss, but even that, I'm very taking it slow.
But these answers are only a sampling. In Germany, 40% of men think sex on the first or second date is okay, but only half as many women do. Our expert sees a pattern there.
People who generally are looking for someone to date for a longer period of time, they tend not to have sex on the first date.
No matter where the first date may lead, it's basically about having a good time together. Someone might find a partner for the long term or just get to know a new friend.
I met this man, very beautiful Irish man, at a museum, and we kind of locked eyes watching the same Klimt picture. And I was like, oh, he's cute. And then I smiled at him, but he had a mask on because it was COVID. And then we ended up getting cocktails and talking about life. And now we're friends, but we meet each month to go to a museum, because that's how we met.
Had a very competitive round of golf. I won. And then we went and had drinks afterwards. Kept it very chill.
When I met my partner, we were like having a few beers and then we went to get some more beers. He was bicycling and I was like sitting on the front of the bicycle thingy, and it was like in the middle of the night and like empty streets, and it was really nice moments.
What's your most interesting first date experience? Let us know in the comments.